Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boscheman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. I don't know how we got here, but September has arrived. So this year has seemed to go by really, really quickly, but here we are in September. And so we're going to take a look at the individual life path numbers, the forecast for September 2023 in this episode. Before we get into that, this, of course, is a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. I would love to take a look at your personal numerology and let you know what I see. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Life Path 22-4. So the month of September brings the energy of the 11-2 and a animal wisdom message from Rooster. So 11-2 energy, when it comes in a cycle, of course, it's, the energy of the inspirational leader. So it's meant to be inspiring. It's going to put the focus on what inspires us, what takes our inspiration away, and what do we need to move away from. And again, what lights us up? Where's our enthusiasm? Where's our drive coming from? And are we investing our time and energy into whatever that is? With the 11-2 energy, it can bring about some additional challenges, unexpected challenges, but those are more testing challenges to say, is this what you want? Is this really what you want to continue to move towards? And as a 22-4, the question is always, is my heart in it? Is this heart-led, or am I doing this out of obligation, or, because I said that I would, out of commitment type thing? So there's really this energy this month, especially to keep coming back to your heart center, to check in with yourself, to make sure that what you're moving towards is something that lights you up, that inspires you, that deserves your energy and your commitment. So yeah, you will see that come in wherever it is that it might be that you are investing your time and energy and resources into something that you're just committed to because you said you would. You're probably going to feel the pressure put on that. You're probably going to feel sort of the emphasis be put in that area of your life to be looked at, to be dealt with, to maybe change direction, to modify in some way. That can sometimes be something that 22-4s or 4s in general, right? It can kind of be our Achilles heel because, again, when we say we're going to do something, we're going to do it. When we commit to something, we commit to something. It's a very loyal energy, but it can also trip us up because we end up investing all of our time and energy into something, and then eventually we stop and take a look at it and say, I don't even want this. So why am I keep going? Why do I continue to go? Are you building your dream or somebody else's? And so again, that could be coming in to take to have a closer look at this month, especially with that 11-2 sort of energy circling about. Some of the challenges that come in under this 11-2 cycle can be a little daunting sometimes, not always, but sometimes, because it is master level energy. So it's going to really test to the point of, if it's not inspiring you, if it's not lighting you up, if it's detracting from, your purpose and your goal, and the sustainability of that, then that challenge is going to be very difficult because it's going to sort of force you to look at maybe what you're trying not to look at, because it could be about relationships, or it could be about a career that you've invested 30 years into, but you absolutely hate, but you're obligated, you're committed, right? And so again, that's what I kind of mean by tests and challenges with this 11-2 energy, because the 11 is driving towards, pushing us towards saying yes to what inspires us and no to what doesn't. And that sounds easy. That sounds like, okay, obviously, right? But it can be very difficult to make that transition. Again, you're in a job for 30 years. You've committed to it. You have great retirement. You have all these things. It's your safety zone, but you don't like it. It doesn't inspire you. If anything, it leaves you drained. So to make that decision, to make modifications, to change jobs, to open your own business, to do whatever, that is not an easy transition. That is not something that just comes lightly. And so that's what I mean by the pressure being put on those areas for you to really take a close look at what it is that needs to change, what it is that needs that modification, where it is that you're sort of selling yourself short on this journey of your life, and investing into things, like truly investing into things that you don't even want, that you don't even enjoy, that don't even bring you the satisfaction that you're working so hard to bring to others. So that's what I mean when I say difficult challenges. Because, again, in words, it sounds light and fluffy. Like, do what inspires you. Don't do what doesn't. Sounds easy enough. It's not, right? That's why it's master level energy. That's why it can be challenging. But I do think you'll feel that pressure a little bit. And it doesn't mean that you have to like uproot your whole life or change directions completely. It just means the awareness needs to be there, right? Like you need to be very aware of it. And then from that awareness comes the steps, comes the next, it's like playing chess. It's like you become aware of the move you need to make to sort of win the game. And then you start taking the steps towards that. And so, you might know you need to leave that 30-year job, like 10-year job, but you don't know how. And that's okay. Baby steps, right? This is the awareness that, okay, this completely depletes me. This leaves me stressed out and anxiety ridden and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the question is, why are you doing it then? And if it's to pay bills, well, there's other jobs that would pay bills. So, and other jobs that would be more aligned with what feels good for you, what feels right? So big, big energy. But you're not meant to necessarily just, again, throw the baby out with the bathwater. You're just meant to just be very aware of those places in your life where it is that maybe you're doing things that are really depleting you, or again, taking that inspiration away, leaving you feeling, frustrated, resentful, whatever the case may be. And it's up to you and you alone, of course, to make those adjustments, to make those changes, because the world is not going to present that to you. The world can present opportunities, but you have to be open to them. And the only way to be open to them is to have the awareness of what you're doing is not working. So next steps are needed. Now with rooster energy coming through, this is interesting because I just get this image of the rooster, it's like day breaks. It's that excitement of a new day. There's that enthusiasm for what am I going to create today? What am I going to do? Like, let's get started. Let's start the day. The sun doesn't even have to be up and that rooster is ready to go. It's like it knows the sun is coming and a new day is starting. And just imagine all the things that we can create. And so it's kind of that kind of enthusiasm that the 11-2 is trying to push you back into if you're not there. Now, if you're somebody who's like, I love everything I'm doing in my life, great. Then you're probably not going to feel this month, as strongly as someone who is overly committed to something that they don't even want, right? And I would say for a lot of 22-4s, a lot of 4s especially, that's just such a strong element of our nature, right? Is to commit to something because we said we would, and we're gonna do a great job because we said we would. And so because it's such a solution-focused energy, so we become fixated on that and we move towards it, but we fail to take that time to really look at, okay, but is this something I want? Is this something that fills me up? So with rooster energy and the 11-2, it's trying to like sort of push you back into that space of feeling excited about the day, like waking up and can't wait to get started on whatever it is that you're like getting started on, right? Like whether it's just a hobby or a relationship or a deeper connection or a job, whatever the case may be. But that rooster energy and that 11-2 is like, man, we want to be excited about life. There's this lust for life. There's this desire to, just really feel inspired, feel in spirit. And, the 11-2 and the 22-4 work so beautifully together. It's part of the manifesting energy, the 2 and the 4. But with the 11-2, that's the inspiration. And then the 22-4, that's the master builder. So the master builder takes the inspiration and builds something from it. And so without the inspiration, you don't know what you're building, or whatever you're building is not necessarily for you. And so this month, you could see some new big ideas come in for you, some major inspiring moments. But it might test you to say, okay, this lights you up, this inspires you, you feel really excited about the day with this. But in order to pursue it, you're going to have to make adjustments over here. You might have to leave that job. You might have to, do something different in that situation. And that becomes a challenge, right? Especially for a 22-4, just because, again, it's such a loyal energy that to break that loyalty, can be difficult. And a lot of times with 22 fours and, fours, it's like there's such a strong loyalty that sometimes we end up sacrificing ourselves and our needs for that loyalty, and we can trip ourselves up. So if it inspires you this month, I hope it's a yes. I hope that you say yes to it. I hope you dive in. I hope, I'm not saying you have to uproot your whole life, but sometimes just saying yes and seeing where it takes you can just open so many doors and so many, bigger perspectives and bigger options. So with rooster energy, the rooster, just think of the rooster. The rooster cannot wait to start his day. He's ready to go. So that's sort of the energy this month, is do more of what lights you up in that way, where you can't wait to do it. You're excited like a kid on Christmas. That's the energy this month. So it's up to you what you do with it, but it's definitely going to be there. And I think you'll feel it, especially if there's areas where you've overcommitted and you're just not happy there. So I hope it's a great month, y'all. Take care. Bye for now.